Like to share my screen. Wait a minute. Okay. Um, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurhadianti Rahayu, and on behalf of Bu Hikmah Pravitasari, I would like to present our research entitled Critical Meaning Making through SFL-Informed TBLT Instructions, a design-based research. The first thing to deliver is the rationale. Why do we have to research this kind of issue? We see that teaching English for specific purposes, we both are lecturers in management study programs. So our English teaching is English for management. So teaching English for specific purposes here requires the instructor to accommodate both linguistic and content knowledge in the instruction. And the previous instructional documents demonstrated that the material selection and learning activities haven't been geared towards critical meaning making, a skill that is that is very crucial in today's professional and social world. As we listened attentively to the presentation delivered by Pak Willy Renandia, that something missing in our language teaching classes is meaning. So here I would like to propose a design that offers students activities, learning activities that is meaningful. To address this issue, we propose the application of SFL concepts, systemic functional linguistic concepts, in task-based language teaching instruction. Why TBLT? My main point here is taking Yasuda's research into account. She observed that TBLT in writing activities and writing pedagogy is underexplored area, particularly for foreign language teaching. And here I would like to enrich the result that has been delivered by Yasuda in her research, that TBLT can also be applied to writing activities. Why SFL concept then? In this course, in English for Management course, the syllabus offers an integration of critical reading with writing a summary. So there will be an integration between reading activities and writing activities, and it can be explicitly scaffolded by SFL notion of genre as a communicative means, taking linguistic choices and targeted readers into account. We want to make learning activities authentic enough for students, meaning that students are encouraged to reflect about their authentic text that they will find in their later stage of their learning, so that we make use of such text, of management related text, as text to be read together and then summarized. SFL demonstrates also how the author construe and realize the context of a particular genre within the three pair type of register variables or fields. That is what is discussed, the content of the text, and the tenor, who is taking part in the text, and how the author managed the relationship with the targeted readers, and mode, which refers to what role language is playing and through which the text is delivered. Of course, it is through a written mode, because we also focus on writing, summary writing activity. Okay, so how will the concept be realized here? We make use of iterative cycle of design-based research proposed by Reeves in 2006 to help us with the designing of the proposed instructions. Reeves DBR considers steps to do the design-based research. First one is the design. First thing is the analysis of the original documents, that are the instructional documents, the syllabus, and the materials delivered, and the assessment that students needs to undergo, and the design, development, and implementation to arrive at the contextually sensitive design principles and theories, as also reported by Wang and Hannafin in 2005. Here you see that in this context, the entire design-based research approach is incorporated to develop instructional designs and materials selected to teach basic terminologies students will likely to encounter in their professional lives, or in this case, in their later stages of their learning. And the why do we have to teach basic terminologies instead of any other activities in the text, for example, of socializing activities in social media that is more relevant to students' life? Because I previously said that this is authentic learning, but why they need to learn basic terminologies? Here is the reason. Because as teachers, we cannot selfishly only think about our learning objectives and how we deliver the materials or how we design the instructions to students, but we also need to consider students' preference and they wants and they need in learning this particular course, that is English. And because of students' proficiency level is still basic up to lower intermediate, therefore we also consider that the materials or the content, the field that we are taking in this course needs to provide students support in understanding or identifying basic terminologies first. Here is the overview of design-based research cycles, iterative cycles. The first is we analyze the instructional document and develop the solution based on the analysis of the instructional documents that we scrutinized. And then we come to the iterative cycles of testing and refinement and reflection to produce design principles. Yeah, the method that we also incorporated in designing the instructions for ESP course in management study program. We did this in a private university in Indonesia. And the data sources for this study included the first is instructional documents, that is ranging from syllabus materials, delivered syllabus materials and assessment, also teacher-students interactions recorded in virtual classrooms, students' classroom artifacts, that is students' journals, sample of students' works, and teacher researchers' reflections. Because both of us are also teaching in that course, so teachers, researchers refer to us. Okay, the data for the study were then being analyzed within the data collection period, and we also make use of thematic analysis that is promoted and proposed by Brown and Clark in 2006 to classify major themes and patterns in students and teacher researchers' reflections. Okay, here we need to make a disclaimer. To avoid hasty generalizations in thematic analysis conducted, we make sure to follow the iterative process of thematic analysis phases. The first is that we read and we reread the data and note the initial ideas and then code the data according to their relevancy, collate the codes into potential themes and cluster the data relevant to their potential themes, recheck the relevance of the themes with the coded extract and the entire data set and map the clusters, themes refinement and defining, and the last one is extracting samples that are relevant with the research aim. That is to understand students' reflection and teachers' reflection about the design that is being implemented. Okay, we move on to the findings in the step 1 in cycle 1 analysis of practical problems. After scrutinizing the documents needed, like the syllabus and materials selected for students, then we come to the conclusion that the syllabus has covered a varied range of themes such as occupation related to management, applications letters, opening a new bank account, prices and products, using social media for product marketing, small medium enterprises, journal article in management studies, which is far too wide range of coverage for language teaching in this course. Therefore, we decide it is too overwhelming and we need to reconsider and redesign the previous design of materials delivered to the students. And also, we need to consider the teaching of content, the management content, to be also always geared with language scaffolding, because students cannot accomplish a task without being explicitly taught about language choice and grammar. But the grammar, the terminology of grammar that we use here does not refer to the decontextualized grammar as a form, but a grammar as a system. Therefore, we use the notion of systemic functional linguistics in doing the scaffolding. Okay, the not all topics offered in the previous syllabus were familiar to students, and one topic, cashless society, for example, cannot be elucidated by some students who never experience how it is to transact using digital money like e-money or Shopee Pay, for example, because of financial limitation. Because the place that in which the study was conducted is in a small city in Banten province, and the background of students here is from lower to medium income family. Grounding the theoretical framework to shape instructional design here, as you know that we make use of SFL concept of register, that is field mode antenna, to frame the text reading, including who the target readers are, hence the language selection in text they read. First, this is also embedded in the instruction given to the students to do the reading and the analysis of the text. For example, if the targeted readers are non-experts, then the language choice should be as simple as possible. As opposed to that, if the targeted readers are experts, students will identify a more complex language choice in the text. Okay, in light of SFL concept, the learning cycle can also be organized as teachers scaffolded joint analysis of model text. First thing first, after reading, teacher also before in class activity, teacher provides reading comprehension questions first in order for students to understand what the text really is, what the text tries to tell them. And then after that, we do the discussion of the field, the content, and we move on to the summary activities that is instructed for a certain readership. Okay, TBLT here affords students to learn in a step-by-step manner because the task sequencing is arranged from easier tasks to more challenging ones. Step 2 here, the development of initial solution. Taking students' perspective and syllabus analysis results into consideration, we revise the syllabus with TBLT as the main frame for instructions because it affords us to design the activities, the learning activities in a step-by-step manner. Here we see that the proposed syllabus draft. No, this one is the principle design, the design principles. Since we integrate reading and writing activities in this course, so the principle that we propose in the initial.
Hadianti.
Yes, Pa?
I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Your time is only 3 minutes left.
I see. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so these principles are initially proposed, then we revise the principles later on. Here is the proposed syllabus draft. This is only a draft, and design-based research doesn't mean that this is a rigid and a static kind of design proposal for instructions, but it can also change regarding or considering students' condition, learning conditions in the class, because what we plan does not always be implemented verbatim. Because it's always a surprising moment. There always occur things that is unexpected, things that are unexpected always. Okay, so step 3 here, the evaluation towards the solutions implemented. After the implementation, the first implementation, students here complain that they need more time to grasp the meaning of the articles given. Most of them even need to read the text together and ask their seniors, particularly when the terminology given is very unfamiliar for them. Therefore, as teachers, as instructors, we also need these needs into account, that we cannot rigidly implement our teaching agenda, but also listening to students' input as well. I will skip some of the findings here only to teachers' reflections. Teachers or us as instructors find it that teaching technical jargon such as teaching what is field, what is tenor, what is mode explicitly is challenging. Therefore, students need to grasp that technical jargons, but we also highlight that they don't need to understand all that. They don't need to remember all. They just need to read and find who is the targeted readers, what kind of language choice the author tries to put in the text, and also the cohesive devices that is used. Here, students' reflection that shows that they find the analysis of the text was challenging in the reading stage, and they thought that they need to familiarize themselves with the way language work and understand how language operated to achieve text social function, because the focus of SFL notions in teaching, writing, and reading here is for students to make meaning, to remake their meanings about what they understand from the text. Here is the revised design principle. And then here is the insights from students' reflection. After we try to do the thematic analysis.
Sorry, Ibu, your time is up.
Oh, okay. Okay, so maybe the conclusion, maybe, yeah. Only one thing more. This research demonstrated how TBLT as the instructional design to teach ESP in management study program can be geared with SFL Notion, and SFL Notion is very useful for us. We find it useful because it focuses on meaning, and these findings imply that SFL has the potential to help students enhance their writing, but we only need more time. Thank you so much for this opportunity.